Alright, this is what we're going to make. It's a broaching tool, and it's got a single tooth. I looked online and I couldn't really find anything. What inspired this one was I saw some guys that took a piece of tool steel like this, and they cut it. They cut a tooth on the end where they could shove it straight up and down and make the cut. Well, the cut I had to make was like an inch, inch and a quarter, something like that. And my skills aren't good enough to grind a bit that long and keep it straight. And so I thought, if I did something like this and brought it in from the side, then all I would have to do is grind that single tooth, that very end, to be what it needs, the profile that it needs to look like, and then mount it in the side and shove it down through there. So let's get started. I've got a piece of drill rod in my vise in a 1/2-inch collet. I've set it at 7 degrees to give us some relief angle on the bit. So the first thing I got to do is find the center of my rod. Drill a hole. Got a center drill in there. See if we're still pretty much lined up. Alright, we're going to drill through with a 3/16 first. Now we'll put this letter T in here. Now we got to come at the end and put in a set screw. I'm going to offset this . To 7 degrees. And then drill a hole down through the center, and hopefully that will put it on a 90-degree axis with that hole, which the hole appears to be parallel across there. So, okay, now we got to try to get a hole right into the end of this. Let me get set up for that. That should be right in the middle for us right there. Let's get this bit changed out. Back to 0. Alright, let me get a set screw and a tap. Okay, we're going to put in a 1/4 28 set screw, so we need a number 3 drill bit. Okay, so we've got a tap. I'm going to follow it here. Get that out of the way. Okay, so let's take this over to the bench and see what we got. We've got this drilled out, and we've got a set screw in the end of it. Next thing we need to do is get this ground to be our cutter. And kind of the idea here is by doing this and putting it at 7 degrees here, I don't have to grind an angle on the front, or I shouldn't have to. So I have no idea if this is going to work. This is just kind of, I'm trying it. Now the blank, I don't have a 3/16 piece of high-speed steel. So I got to use a 1/4 inch. That's why I had to drill this hole as big as I did. And I'm just hoping, these sides are pretty thin, I'm hoping it holds up. But I'm betting on the fact that the aluminum that this is going to cut is weaker than this steel right here, but we'll see. So anyway, okay, this comes with a relief on the end. So I don't really have to grind this end at all. But what I've got to do is on the cutter, this is 1/4 inch, and I've got to narrow this down to 3/16. So that's the next thing I'm going to try to do. Alright, I'm over here on my tool grinder, and I've got the table set to 7 degrees off of the stone. So if I grind this just straight across, it'll give me, it should give me a 7-degree relief on the underside, which is what I want. So I'm going to have to grind one side on this side and one side over here on this side. Okay, here's my first attempt at sharpening. Well, I came in too far on this side. What happened was I nicked the corner, so I had to bring this side over that much to get the corner straight. What I should have done, I guess, was grind it back this way. But anyway, by the time I got that over here, and if I was going to bring this edge over, when I got right here, it was already too small. So I'm going to flip it over. I've put some die-chem on here, and I'm going to try to mark this so that I've got a better idea of where I need to stop. Okay, so to mark this is 1/4 inch, so it's 0.250 wide. I guess I ought to check it. Yep, 0.250 wide. So my key is 0.1875. 0.1875. So you do the math on that, you come up with 0.625, 0.0625 difference, and then we're going to have to take it off both sides. So it's 31 thousandths. So 31 thousandths off of each side. So let's see if I score that down that side, down that side. I mean, you can see it's just a tiny little bit off each side. Now let's see if I can sort of measure this. Okay, let's see. Let me put it on what it's supposed to be and see if that seems right. Okay, that seems a little narrower than my line of what it's supposed to be. So if I grind these lines on both sides, I should still have a little bit more that I can take off. Okay, so let's try that. Alright, I've got you at a really weird angle, but this is the grinding wheel here and the table, and so it's the only way I could get the camera in here where you could see. So here's what we're going to do. I just got to grind just the very tip of this. I don't need very much. So here we go. We're going to do this one side. Okay, I burned my die-chem off, but I can still see back behind it. where it's supposed to be. Found before it was easier to slide it in like that. It cut a lot easier. Okay, so that's got this side done, I think. Okay, now let's go to the other side. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side of the wheel, so it's turning the other way. Okay, here is the bit that we ground. And it's got a really good profile on it. I think it's going to work really well. We'll get it, I need to get it mounted in here, but really before I can do that I got to cut it off because it's not going to go down in our hole, which is only 5/8. So I'm going to have to, I'm going to cut it off really short. Okay, anyway, let me get, I'm going to get out a Dremel with a little abrasive tool and cut through this. But this measures exactly 1.875, which I was really happy with. And this is exactly that same size. So hopefully it's going to work. Okay, I've got the cutter in here and I think I've got it lined up, and I was going to take the first push. Okay, now let's take another couple of thousandths. This is 5 thousandths. Okay, cool. Another 5. Another 5. Alright, let's see. I need a little screwdriver. Okay, because these chips, each time I'm getting a little shorter pass because the chips are building up. This would be really good on a through hole. Okay, so now I'm getting really short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out and I'm going to clean, see if I can clean some of that up. Our key does just slide in there. Perfect. Okay, so we need to get our hub back and we'll get the keyway cut in it. Okay, here's a close-up of the hole with the keyway cut in it.